For more on the controversial lift station project, here's Utilities Director Mitt Tidwell. And Mitt, thanks for being here first off.
Sure, Ray.
You know, for a lot of folks who didn't live here 10 years ago, they're not sure why this whole thing began and how it became so controversial. I was covering the news back here 10, 12 years ago, and I recall vividly there was two major sewage spills into the Hudson Bayou, and without much delay, talk began immediately for a new sewage station.
And Ray, that's exactly correct. We had some equipment failures at Lift Station 7, and Lift Station 7 has been there a number of years. It's nearing the end of its useful life, and it's time to replace that lift station.
And for those who aren't aware, the other lift station 7, and by the way, where do you get these numbers from?
That's a good question.
How is this new one, lift station 87? Isn't that kind of arbitrary?
Well, we've actually numbered the lift stations according to when they were constructed or reconstructed. So this is one of the older lift stations in town.
So we're up to 87 now?
Correct.
Okay, anyway. So lift station 7, which is currently handling, is it a third of the city's waste?
Yes, Ray, it serves a third of the city, mostly the southern part, including Siesta Key, Sarasota Memorial Hospital, and several storm shelters.
And that is off Alta Vista in the Pomelo area?
Actually, yes, it's on Pomelo, just south of north of Alta Vista.
And if you didn't know better, you wouldn't know what you're driving past. It's a fenced-in area, and you can't tell what's going on inside that wooden fence.
Well, we try and protect the lift stations so that they don't intrude on the neighborhood.
So you quickly chose a site called Lukewood Park, which, if you're not familiar, it's near Sarasota Ford, across from McDonald's New Publix. You've probably driven past it out there many times if you're watching from Sarasota. How did you arrive on that location?
Well, actually, at the very beginning of this project, there was an engineering study for a site selection. The preferred site was not city-owned property, and the city was not able to obtain that property. The second best site was Lukewood Park. The city already owned that property, so it became the site.
I know a lot of neighbors nearby there didn't fight it too vehemently because they were told it was going to be an underground facility, and it turned out the engineer who promised that was making promises he couldn't keep, and lawsuits followed.
And there are lawsuits ongoing over the original project, and that is proceeding on its own course. The parts of the lift station that were built, we had some serious issues with, and we decided that it was better to bring that lift station above ground.
In the meantime, there was quite a bit of an elaborate underground city built under Lukewood Park. I've talked to somebody who's been in there, and it's quite a little Star Trek adventure down there. That whole thing will now be dismantled beneath the ground?
Yes, we will salvage the equipment that has been installed that we can reuse, and then we will demolish the rest. And a lot of that is to bring it up above Category 3 surge to protect the lift station equipment.
So Monday enters a new era. That's when you're going to close a major thoroughfare through Sarasota, Osprey Avenue. You're going to close between Mound and Bay Vista. What exactly will you be doing on Monday work-wise?
Monday on work-wise, we'll just begin the real construction. The contractor's been on site for a couple of months getting prepared, but the first phase of the micro tunneling, which installs a gravity sanitary sewer in Osprey from Lincoln to Mound, and then it turns and goes to the lift station site. And that will be what will be starting Monday, and that will take about a year.
It's an amazing project. You're going to tunnel beneath the Hudson Bayou. How deep is it?
Yeah, we'll be about 35 feet deep.
And you're going to tunnel beneath that?
Yes.
Don't just go 36 feet. Go more than that.
We will.
I'm kidding. And your micro tunnel, and that tunnel will exist from here forward. You won't just use it to transfer the waste from 7 to 87. That's going to remain in business forever.
Yes, it will. And actually, it's going to be a steel pipe with a plastic pipe inside the steel pipe. So we're going to have a double pipe system. Now, the steel pipe is an encasement to protect the plastic pipe long term.
All right, so that's going to start at the bridge. When will actual work start at the site in Lukewood Park?
That would be the second phase of the project, and we will probably begin construction in the summer of 2017.
And your completion date is still set for 2020?
Yes, after we build the lift station, that's about a 2-year process. Then we'll build the gravity wastewater pipes down Osprey, Alta Vista, and Pomelo to connect to the existing lift station.
We're showing some video right now of the former pipes that were going to be used and then not used, if I'm correct.
Correct.
You're seeing some of the underground, well, there's the artist rendering of how it's going to look. It's some call it quite a Taj Mahal. We've come a long way from an underground facility to that beautiful mansion. How many square feet are we talking right there?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not versed on the actual square footage of that building, but it will be housing the lift station and the equipment that supports the lift station and a backup generator should we lose power from FP&L.
Should we hear any kind of noise on a regular basis as we drive past there?
No, it's going to be totally enclosed and it will be insulated, sound attenuated, and we're going to do our best to reduce noise and vehicles. You're not even going to see many vehicles at that site when we're actually there.
So no noise. And also at the current station, at Lift Station 7, neighbors there say there's a stench at certain times of the week, the year. Will there ever be a stench around this new one?
No, inside the building is an odor control system so that all of the air inside the building will be processed through the odor control system before it's vented.
Will you have any workers working full-time at the site? Any one person full-time there?
No, there will not be anybody there full-time. We will have crews that will visit that site every day to make sure that everything is working. It is also monitored remotely from the wastewater plant on 12th Street.
Where will you enter to get to this site? From Osprey or from Mound?
Actually from Mound. We'll have a single driveway off of Mound just west of 301, and we'll turn into the building site.
The current site, Lift Station 7, Alta Vista area, when the new one is done, you're going to dismantle that one?
Yes, we're going to completely remove that lift station, and we will have several meetings with the neighborhood and the public in general as to how to reestablish that site in more of a park-like setting, so you won't know we were ever there.
And neighbors there can't wait. I know that for a fact. I've done a dozen stories on this. Originally, this was supposed to cost about $9 million, and now the cost is closer to $42 million when you add everything up, $42 million. But in your defense, this is not tax dollars directly, but rather fees. How do you explain this?
Well, yes, on the water and sewer bill, the utility is funded entirely on the water and sewer bill for the services you receive for water and wastewater. That comes back to the utility, and that funds our operation and maintenance and our capital projects, such as Lift Station 87.
I know we've got a map to show you right now in case some viewers aren't exactly where we're talking about. Again, 41 and 301, that origin right there. You see where Lift Station 87 is there in Lukewood Park. If you look to the left of the 87, you'll see Osprey Avenue. You'll see the little barricade there. That's where Osprey Bridge is. That is closing. So from Mound down to Bay of Vista, you can't get through there for 12 to 18 months, Mitt?
Well, actually, the actual closure is from Bay Street to Lincoln. That's where the bridge over Hudson Bayou is what will actually be closed.
But you can't get through, though.
You can't get through. So, but you can come down Bahia Vista if you're in that neighborhood and need to get back to 41. Then you could use Bahia Vista, yes.
And in our last 15 seconds, you're urging all motorists who want to come down and come south on Osprey to continue and go on 41 and wrap around that way to Hillview. Is that the idea?
Yes, that's the detour that we have established, and that was, we looked at several roads on how to get back to Osprey Avenue, and Hillview was selected as the best option.
Well, thank you, Mitt, for spending your time with us on this Friday evening. Monday's your next chapter, and good luck, and we'll certainly be talking to you on a regular basis.
I'm sure we will. Thanks, Ray.